Kiss 107.1 is WTLZ Saginaw with Steve Harvey in the morning and simply the best R&B all day. Take us everywhere. Your smartphone, in your car, to work, or live at KissWTLZ.com. We're Kiss 107.1.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen. We are here for another hour of conversation. I am your hostess with the mostest. And I got a couple of guys in the studio today. If you're looking on our social media stream, you'll see two young men with two shirts that say, "I've found help." We're going to learn out about who they are in just a hot second. These are some of my mentees that are coming into the studio. I want to give a shout out to my main man, Terry Reed, for giving us a great idea. Instead of bringing in the brothers, let's talk to some of these young men who were part of our Open Gym and Youth Summit on yesterday. So if you're tuning into this conversation via the radio, we want you to continue to listen on your FM dial on 107.1 FM. But if you're listening via social media, be it YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or whatever format you get your social media, we want you to like, tag, and share this conversation with other people around you. So we're glad to be in the house on today. Shout out once again, if you are enjoying this show and you want to hear it in its entirety, say you don't get all of it, or you'd like to listen to other shows that we have after the show goes live on today, we will get a podcast version of that. You just go to www. We don't even do that anymore. You go to kisswtlz.com, and on the main page, you'll see Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen. Click on that handsome debonair face, and you'll see the other podcasts that are there for your listening enjoyment. I want to say what's up to my main man. What's going on, Matt? We call him White Soul. What's up, Matt?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing today?
I am doing well. He is in the studio. He's made sure that the guests are comfortable and they're doing well. We got a shout out from Terry Reed already. Y'all famous already. Terry Reed. He says, "Tell my boys I said hey, and we're proud of you all." So he says, "What's up to you guys?" You can actually speak on the mic if you desire. Let me hear your voice. Get your voice. Get your voice. Your radio voice.
I want to say thank you to Terry for that.
All right. Let me hear you.
What's up, Terry? Thank you for shouting us out.
Yeah, they getting real bold. They calling you Terry and not Mr. Reed, but that's okay. Beat him up, rough him up a little bit when you see him, Mr. Reed. So great. My mom is in the studio stream. Hey, Mom, what's going on? You always are welcome to come into Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen. The number here is 989-921-1071. Is that correct, Mr. Producer?
Yes, it is.
All right. So we got our brothers in the stream. Let's tag, share this conversation. We're going to hear what these young men have to say. But before we do that, we like to talk about what's on my mind. I believe we have a caller that is calling in right now. We're going to see if that caller, do we have a caller on the line? Matthew.
Yes, we do. We have Jeff from Saginaw.
All right. So we are allowing you all to call in with any conversation you'd like to add. If you hear something that tickles your fancy, by all means, call in. If you have something you like to say, comment, or a response, we want to give you that opportunity. All right. Caller's name is Jeff from Saginaw. Jeff, let me hear what you got to say.
Hey, just want to shout you out again. Thanks for the platform. Thanks for all you do. I wanted to call in to really give a shout out to the community and in hopes that we will support Pam Pugh in her U.S. Congress run. It's really imperative that we do so. We've never had this type of opportunity to have somebody from Saginaw, from our grounds, to support us, to represent us in D.C. And so I just wanted to shout her out, support her, and in hopes that the community will support her. And thanks again.
All right. Thank you so much for calling in, Jeffrey Bulls. For those of you who are listening to what he's saying is we know that Pam Pugh, who is from the area, she was initially running for the seat that was being vacated by Debbie Stabenow, which was our state Senate seat. We have since learned that Dan Kildee will no longer run for re-election, and so she has suspended that campaign and now has moved to throw her hat in the ring as a candidate for the spot that Dan Kildee currently holds, which I think is, if she's going to run a race, I think that's a better race for her to run. And I completely want to thank you, Jeff, for calling in. Once again, that number is 989-921-1071. All right, so I want to talk a little bit, since we're talking politics. I want to talk a little bit about what's going on in my, I always talk about what's on my mind. And right now, I'm trying to figure out what are we going to do this Biden-Trump situation. By all means that we're looking at currently, we're looking at a repeat of the last election that was uninspiring for all parties involved. And it looks as though we're getting ready to have another situation in which we got Biden versus Trump. We see now Hunter Biden thought he was about to be done with a plea deal that was set up. The Republicans are like, no, we're going to charge this dude with something. Now he seems to be facing 9 felony charges and probably will be found guilty and will do some time. They're trying to connect what he has done to his father. There's no smoking gun or no there, but hey, it is what it is. But it's interesting that individuals who support Donald Trump are going to come after Joe Biden for crimes of his children when all of his children have all violated the emoluments clause, which means you cannot make money while you're in office by using your influence. But it is what it is. So we're going to keep it moving. I want to talk a little bit really quickly. This is all about what's on my mind. And these are the things that are driving me mad. The funding for Ukraine and Israel. Let's have a quick chat about this. When we think about what the United States is, they have decided that they are going to be the governors of the world, the voice of democracy around the world, defending democracy and putting the cape on their back and doing what is necessary to keep things safe around the world and democracy flowing. Quite often, that's not what it looks like to us. It looks like we're protecting interests that have nothing to do with the everyday citizen, but that's neither here nor there. I want to talk about this because we're getting ready. We're sending billions and billions and billions of dollars to both Israel and also to Ukraine. We're continuing to finance everyone's freedom except those in our own country. I told you, me and number 45 never saw anything eye to eye. We weren't boys. We weren't kicking it. We weren't hanging out. But I did have one thing in common with him. I believed in the concept of America first, that we need to be able to take care of our own citizens before we move to doing everything else. Currently, America is funding billions of dollars to 2 wars now around the world. Not to mention the other places where we're keeping peace and have soldiers in places. Yet in America, we have places that are considered food deserts. Saginaw, Michigan Bay region is one of those places that is considered a food desert. We've got schools that are crumbling in our community in terms of the public school education. We have crumbling infrastructures with our roads and our bridges. We've got student loan debt up the wazoo that nobody can pay back, and pushing the idea of owning a home, which was a part of the American dream, further and further from our fingertips. Homelessness in a country that has billions of dollars to feed and to take care of and to make sure that other folks are okay is kind of crazy to me, that we're sending money and aid and food because we're concerned about refugees in other countries, but yet there are homeless folks who are in our own streets. And also with a country that has a checkered past, a really sordid black past, as it relates to the folks from the black and brown community. Us black folk, we understand what happened with those crime bills that Joe Biden wrote. Mass incarceration of many of our brothers over crimes that should not have been incarcerated, not fairly treated or tried, and yet they are being incarcerated with no real sense of rehabilitation happening in the spaces we call prisons. So we need to begin to look at some things, because what I'll tell you is this: there's been an issue over the U.S. and their not willingness to sign a ceasefire that does not really deal with the issue, and Israel is mad. They big mad. And it's interesting because there are a lot of things that can happen in our world. White folks often make this statement. They say that, why is it that we can, and this is a whole conversation, why is it that we can't say anything about minorities, but minorities can say things about us? Why is it that a comedian such as Dave Chappelle he can make jokes about everything except for the trans community. Why do we have those types of stipulations? Because black folks usually can say whatever they want to about whatever people in the world. Unfortunately, we cannot say anything as it relates to Jewish America. My question that I would ask would be why? But I want to give you an insight as to what I think the real answer is. Wall Street CEO Mark Rowan called for the leaders of Harvard University to resign and donors to close their checkbooks. In case you have not heard, one of the professors at Harvard was giving a speech up on Capitol Hill, and they were towing the party line, sticking according to the rules of the statements that were passed, and people were mad because they sounded like attorneys, but they were trying to make sure that they would not get sued and being careful of what they were saying because they were on a national platform, understanding that people were listening. And the Jewish community did not like what they heard. And so immediately, Wall Street CEO Mark Rowan calls for the leadership of Harvard to step down. Now, if you remember correctly, there was a whole situation with Harvard and they're abolishing the remainders or the remnants of affirmative action. Y'all need to listen to what's going on here. And Harvard was trying to say, hey, we need to make sure that there's some equity, inclusion, and diversity that's taking place on our campus. And they weren't buying it. And so the government said they went and found a little Asian woman, a little Jewish person, and said, look, we're being discriminated against. We're not getting in because you're bringing them in and they're taking our positions. But here we have another situation in which they feel that they're being mistreated or unfairly treated, and the government is not moving fast enough. And one of the most elite universities in the nation, Harvard, is not supporting them the way that they feel that they should be supported. Now, y'all need to listen to what I'm saying. And so we got two billionaires, billionaire CEO Mark Rowan, and then also billionaire Ronald Lauder, a powerful financial backer of the university, threatened to cut off all donations if the school didn't do more to fight anti-Semitism. This is what I call the power of the almighty dollar. This is why there has been a fight for Black America to actually receive what we would consider reparations. That means that we should be given a retribution for the country that we build, but we're not allowed to participate in running the race for the American dream. This is the power that we saw brought the death of the affirmative action. It's called the almighty dollar. When I don't like something, I'll shut it down by cutting off the funding sources. And in our community, we don't have those opportunities. And then when we have brothers, young athletes, and celebrities that get those kinds of dollars, they are often surrounded by folks who don't look like them and put accountants and other folks in those places and take the money. It doesn't turn over in our community, but we take it to places like Louis Vuitton buying $1 million bag that costs $1 million. We take it to Jacob the jeweler, or the Iceman buying $200,000 pairs of earrings that we often lose, buying bags from Chanel and Gucci for $5,000 and $10,000 and $15,000. Community, we've got to wake up. We've got to begin to secure our bases so that when people don't treat us right, we can do as the Jewish Americans have done here and say, we will boycott you. Now, this is the thing that's really interesting, because although we may not have tons and tons of billionaires, we are the greatest consumers of all. We consume more than $3 trillion a year. So we have the power of our ability because we are consumers. So it's time for us to recognize our power to stand up and speak and stand up for what's right. All right. I'm just telling you what's on my mind. Next, I want to say really quick, Representative Amos O'Neill, who has been a great supporter of the young men that are on the other side of this table. He's been working endlessly since he's been in office, is hosting a community violence intervention town hall. This town hall will take place tomorrow. He's also invited special guest Representative Christine Morse. It will be tomorrow at UA Local 85. That's at 3535 Bay Road, Saginaw, from 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. Now, listen, people, we got to get out there and we have to support what's going on, because violence is happening in our community. Help is being found. There's other organizations that are doing great things, but we've got to put our support around folks as they address the issues that are impacting our community. So tomorrow at 5 o'clock from 5 to 8, at the UA Local 85. I'm not sure if that's a pipe fitters union or what it is, but 3535 Bay Road. Let's make sure we pack out the house and show our presence, because what often happens is they get these types of forums going, and the folks that are in there don't look like the folks who are dealing with the crimes that are happening in our community or the victims of those crimes. So let's make sure we show up. All right, I got to give a quick, and I'm moving through this stuff with blustering speed because this is so important. And my guys on the other side are going to get a real quick crash course in radio conversation. But I got to have a conversation, the Memorial Cup, all right? And I need y'all to tune in, check in, tap in real quick. Get your family, your play cousins, and everybody else involved in this conversation, because this is so vitally important. I thank you, Melissa Johnson Hayes. It's the Union Hall by the Mr. Crash. Mr. Crash. I'm not sure what that is, or if you've helped me at all, but thank you, Melissa. It is on Bay Road. We want to make sure that we know exactly what's going on. Okay, we have a caller. Do we have a caller?
Yes, we do, Mr. D'Antonio Brooks. How are you doing today?
Okay, Antonio Brooks, my brother. What's going on, King?
Mr. Brooks, are you there?
Chaka Khan.
Oh, I'm chilling.
What's going on, AB? How are you doing?
Yeah, can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can. What is it that you'd like to share on today?
Nothing. I just want to send a shout out, man, to them young brothers that's sitting down there at that table, man.
Okay, you want to give a shout out to the young brothers, my man Curtis and Isaac, and Tony. What's that?
Young Lee J and Isaac, man. I see y'all.
He says he sees you guys. I don't know. Can you guys hear him?
Yeah.
All right, they hear you. They say thank you for calling in and give them a shout out.
Yeah, I'm paying attention to what y'all doing. I got an echo coming back, some reverb.
Yeah, probably because you have us on the radio or some other device in the room. We certainly thank you for calling, Mr. Antonio. Thank you for giving a shout out to our young man. All right. Let me get. All right. Thank you so very much. All right. Tara Simpson, shout out to the future. He calls y'all the future. Y'all the future. I thought Future was a rapper, but this is the future. All right. I want to say something really quick, and I want to have one last conversation before we get into it with these two young men. And I need our community to really pay attention to what I'm getting ready to say. There is an event that's coming to the city of Saginaw. I've talked about it. I've talked about ways that we needed to get involved. It's called the Memorial Cup. And I know that I might ruffle some feathers in the process, but you know me, I guess I just don't know any better, or I'm willing to fight for my community. All right. So the Memorial Cup is coming to Saginaw. It's one of the most prestigious hockey tournaments that takes place. And we were blessed to be able to do it. Shout out to my man, Dick Garber. Dick is the greatest philanthropist that exists in the Michigan Bay region. He alone gives more financial support in dollars than any other organization or company in the Michigan Bay region. All right. So I need y'all to understand that. I love Dick. Dick is a great friend. We've been friends for a long time. He also sponsors a number of the things that I've done and a number of the things that I do in the community. And I just want us to know, because the moment that we see something like this coming, this is super duper huge, because millions of dollars, thousands of folks are going to be coming into the Saginaw community. There are millions of dollars at stake. Say that with me, millions with an M, millions of dollars that are coming, tens of millions of dollars. Let me make sure that this is really clear. Coming into the Saginaw community. And I remember the day that they announced that Saginaw was the winner of the bid to bring the Memorial Cup to the city of Saginaw. Me being the person that I am, I called Dick on his phone and I said, yo, Dick, man, I called him on the cell phone. I said, hey, what's going on? There was a lot of commotion in back. He's like, hey, Kareem, I'm at the tournament. I'm at the Memorial Cup that was being hosted last year. And I said, hey, congratulations on bringing that cup to Saginaw. I just heard about it. And so I was really excited for what was going to take place. I then had a conversation, shot him an email that we would work with getting, the Black and brown communities and the folks that live in the city of Saginaw involved in this process. And that we wanted to, because he's given so much and done so many things in the community, we would be willing to volunteer and help to make this a great success. After all, It's where we live. It's where we drive. It's in the community that we talk with individuals. We're mentoring. We're trying to make a change. And what happens in the city of Saginaw, and I'm going to be very clear about this, what happens in the city of Saginaw has a great weight on how this thing will be received. And what I mean by that is that we had an incident that almost occurred that had many of us wondering, hoping that we would not be canceled. Because these things don't come to communities that are not safe. They don't come to communities where violence is an issue, gun violence particularly. And there were some things that took place in our community earlier this year that we were like, hey, we hope that this doesn't interfere with this amazing opportunity that we have that's happening in the city of Saginaw. So brothers like myself and other folks were saying, hey, we need to make sure we provide and preserve and do whatever we can to make this community safer. Now, I want to say this because we offered up the idea to be volunteered, and Dick, he did his part. He shot an email. These individuals are going to reach out. They're going to connect with you and make sure that you're a part of this. Kareem, thank you for offering to work with getting the Black community involved in this, because we all know that the Memorial Cup coming to Saginaw is something that would come and go. Because many of us walking around with a pair of ice skates thrown over our shoulders. It's not where we operate. It's not where we function. It's not something that we typically watch. In fact, most Black folks that are a part of the hockey community are folks that have either been given a ticket by a public service organization, community service organization, or by a friend, or you were invited for some particular thing, because it's just not where we flow. And so all of this has been happening. There's been meetings and things taking place. There were 2 town halls or 2 meetings that took place at the city of Saginaw, one on Tuesday for businesses, one on Thursday for community service organizations. From my understanding, about 45 organizations, I couldn't be there because I had other obligations, were present. Not very many of us were there. The communication and the phrasing and the terminology of what's happening is being lost in translation. Now, I need to understand, and I want to say this, and I'll be very bold in saying this. We can bring Black people in to talk to Black folks and to get us involved and to get us into spaces and get us involved with the situation. But the fact of the matter is that other folks that are not of the community need to realize that Black people are not a monolith. What does that mean? That means that you can't just say, just because I look like I'm Black on the outside, that I have the same thoughts, or I'm able to engage, or I'm able to mobilize that community because we look the same on the outside. So there has to be a real understanding of other folk. You cannot choose who our leaders are. You can't choose who represents us, but you have to have engagement in a way that really targets and talks with folks who are part of the community on a regular basis. And I'm not trying to throw rocks at anybody. I just am frustrated when something of this magnitude comes into our backyard and it appears as though we're being disenfranchised from that process. When going to church, the roads will be blocked off. If you live in the community, if you're on a bus, all of these things will be impacted. There's thousands, tens of thousands of folks that are coming into the community, means lines will be longer. You're going to be, to some degree, put in a place that your life is going to be changed for 2 whole weeks, the last week of May and the first week of June. So you should be a part of the process. And then the other thing is, what will be the ultimate takeaway for those communities? These things need to be communicated. We're not angry. We're just asking questions. And it's sad that we have to ask questions when, if it's coming into a community that is in the backyard, then we should be at the table being able to have these questions answered. And so I just want to make sure that whoever's involved with the Memorial Cup, and I'm going to be making some calls of my own this week, that we make sure that we're talking to individuals who really have the ability to impact, effectuate change, and to mobilize our community and have the ear of folks in the community so that we can have some wonderful experiences. I say that because of this. Saginaw Sun's Jason Richardson, people don't really know this, but his first love was not basketball. Did you guys know that? Jay Rich, his first love wasn't basketball, it was hockey. And he wanted to be a hockey player, and he would get on ice skates, and he was actually a hockey player, and he played out at Saginaw Bay Ice Arena. There's pictures of him somewhere in our family treasure, and the problem became that his feet were growing so big that it's hard to find a size 14, 15, 16 in ice skates. And so he abandoned the sport because it was too expensive at the time, and he focused on basketball. How amazing would it be to have young men like the men that are sitting across from me, leading up to this amazing event called the Memorial Cup, having visits to the Saginaw Bay Ice Arena, going to these hockey games in advance. And don't just send them to games. Let's make sure that they're understanding what's happening. Because I'll tell you, the first hockey game I went to, it was interesting. People were getting thrown into the wall. The puck was flying around the rim. I mean, around the what do you call it? The hockey floor, the arena, whatever. Yeah, we don't even know what the words are. But we had no clue as to what was going on, who could go across the center, what was actually happening. So what we need to be able to do is to educate, to empower, to allow these things to come in. Thank you very much, Jerry Lynn Bowen, hockey rink, because I'm a brother struggling. I grew up different than most black brothers because I was exposed going, some of the white folks that were teaching us, taking us up north, and we were hunting and hiking, and we did water skiing. I've been on, I know how to ice skate, but most of us don't have that opportunity. Everything about this tournament is transactional. It should be the same for us in regards for our businesses and nonprofits. Volunteering is awesome, but dollars are critical. And what you're talking to, Jeff, is the fact that a lot of folks are being paid to come in for the service that they're providing. And for me to say volunteer we should be paid. But I say that, and the reason I use that for myself, and I can't speak for anybody else. Thank you very much, Arshan Baldwin Ice Rink. Everybody knows what it is except for me. Maybe I'm the one that's slow. Is because many of the young people that I work with, many of the programs, and we don't tout this, Dick doesn't tout it. I don't publicize this on billboards, but many of the programs, almost everything that I've ever done in the city of Saginaw, Mr. Garber has been a part of that process by sewing in so that we can impact kids, whether it was through Man Up forums starting back in 2005, or it was, feeding kids, or STEM engagement and other types of things. And so that is the reason why I said, since you have been willing to sow so much in terms of what I've been doing as a person in the community, my idea was I would volunteer, and I wanted our people involved in the process. But I do agree that everything else is transactional, and we have to be transactional as a people as well. All right. So I'm going to digress right now, because right now, as you look at what's happening, this is coming to the Michigan Bay region. Let me be very clear. This is coming to the Michigan Bay region. The games will be played in the city of Saginaw, but the hockey players will be in Frankenmuth. Ask yourself, what does that mean? Does it mean that Saginaw doesn't? Well, there's some issues in terms of what we have available, but for people to come in and play a tournament in Saginaw and then not necessarily be able to partake in the city and the place of what it is, this is a great opportunity to show what Saginaw culture is. This is a great opportunity to challenge folks in hotels or apartment complexes that are very nice to do Airbnbs. We can make it happen. I just want to make sure that we're putting a plug and making sure that we are aware of what's going on so that we realize that this is happening in our community and make your voices heard. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When I come back, these two young kings who have been sitting here like, dang, Mr. Bowen, you really be talking. They'll get into the conversation. We're going to talk with these young kings. They are the voices of our youth summit from on yesterday. And I want you guys to like, tag, and share this conversation. Let's get involved. Stay tuned with more of Straight Talk. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
Santa says touch your nose. Santa says touch your toes. Santa says you could save loads because Santa says every ride goes. Santa Ryan here from Belwassing GMC Buick, your only local Buick dealer and home with a lifetime warranty. And this month, I'm on a mission to deck the roads with as many nicer, newer cars as possible. That means you could take up to $5,000 off the price of any nicer, newer car in stock, based on the price of the car you choose. So don't wait for the jolly old elf. It's time to treat yourself. because you could take $5,000 off. My stockings are stuffed with approvals galore because my team uses a little holiday magic and my For the People credit approval process. So let's deck the roads because you could save loads, up to $5,000 based on the price of the car you pick. But hurry, this deal's done once every ride goes, or on December 31st, whichever comes first. I'm Ryan Wasik. I'm your dealer for the people. See all the holiday magic at RyanApproved.com. That's RyanApproved.com.
Credit requires bank approval. Negative equity may be refinanced. Vehicle purchase price determines actual discount. Offer absolutely ends December 31st, 2023.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Our 12 days of Christmas are going on right now. Escape the cold and dive into savings at JB's Market in Munger. Warm up your winter with this great deal from Rocket Grab Plus. Get 50% off on a $20 certificate. Your $20 certificate can now be yours for just $10. It's the perfect gift for foodies or a treat for yourself. Head over to RocketGrabPlus.com to snag your holiday deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com. I was crossing the street when I met the love of my life. I chased after her. Nothing would stand in my way. Not the dog walker, nor the hot dog vendor. Finally reaching her, I asked, "What do you call that amazing smell?"
It's Gain Flings.
Gain Flings. My love had a name, but more importantly, it had a scent.
Fall in love with Gain Flings. Seriously good scent. Gain Flings with 50% more freshness ingredients versus leading bargain detergent.
Hey, it's Steve Harvey, y'all. Here's what happened on the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
You're not handcuffing me to a damn thing. Not gonna happen. Hey, what is you turning on? What is you turning on? You don't mess around and get kicked in the jaw. Your ass gonna be unconscious till I find a way to get out these handcuffs.
Oh, God.
You're not gonna be down there doing what you want to do to me.
Did you say, what did you turning on?
Yeah. You biting too hard. I said you're biting too hard.
Kiss 107.1, simply the best R&B.
It's Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on Kiss 107.1.
This is Kareem. We're back with more Straight Talk. I am in the studio, sharing this studio space with two handsome, suave, debonair, intelligent young kings. I'm going to ask that they would please introduce themselves.
I'm Isaac Wilson, aka King Isaac.
My name is King Curtis, aka Lee J.
Notice they used the term king before. These young men are a part of the HELP, which stands for Healing, Engagement, Love, and Presence mentoring program. I just want to say to many of you that are out there, many of you think that HELP is just about mentorship. It's not. It is a key component of what we are currently doing, but HELP is a community gun violence intervention program. And we've been doing a number of things. Our endeavor is to attack not just the symptoms of gun violence, but also deal with the issues that surround the gun violence culture. All right. So up to date, we have March with Moms of Murdered Children, Moms Demand Action, and every time we have been a part of a town hall documentary with anchor from Channel TV 12 News, Don Lewis. The Silence of Gun Violence, which aired again this morning at 11 a.m. We have hosted an expungement clinic, helping hundreds, 1,200 people showing up, helping hundreds of folks get free from records of their past in partnership with the AG and Representative O'Neill and our wonderful, illustrious mayor and CAC. We have recently hosted a summit of Saginaw's youth, which is absolutely amazing. And these young men are a part of our mentorship process. We are trying to suffocate, as my brother Torres Simpson said, the streets and the gangs by cutting off the pipeline to their future by mentoring these young men. All right, young men, what's going on? Let me know. So you guys are part of the HELP program. You guys are actually two of the OGs, the originals that are a part of this program. What does this program mean to you so far in terms of what you've been doing?
Well, I missed a lot of it because I had to go do wrestling and stuff, but I'm back now, and it means so much. Like, it's a way to get out. It's a way to express myself, and then just coming to talk to y'all and hearing y'all speak, it could like reset my whole mindset for the week, for the month, for the year. It don't matter. It just reset me. It's like detox.
It's like detox for the mind. All right, we're gonna make sure we pay you after this. All right, we're gonna slide the money under the table because these answers are priceless. So Curtis, I thank you. I want you. Isaac, thank you. Curtis, You're a young you're a young mind, and you are coming in and you're hearing these dudes having conversations. What kinds of things? What kind of conversations? What are you taking away from this program?
What am I taking away?
Yeah,
So like
what does this program do for you?
So one of the things that I feel like this program has did for me is just like put a lot of more confidence into like my speeches and just like how I feel about my overall appearance. And it just made me feel more of like a actual king, like how you say like King Curtis. And when some of the things that they be talking about, like activities to just make sure that we all get together and we all participate to become better men and better young kings as a society and a community.
You continue to use the word kings, which has got me smiling over here, right? How did you feel the first time when you got out the car and you heard these men referring to you as young king? What did that do for you?
Well, the first time, I think the person who called me Young King first was Terry. I looked at him and I was kind of confused. I was like, King? I'm too young to be a king, am I? And then later on, when we first got into like the program, and then he like actually discussed how no matter what your age is, you could always be a young king, you could be an old king, as long as you put in the work and you just show yourself as an actual king.
Man, this is absolutely amazing. I always say kids say the darndest things. This is an amazing conversation with you. What would you want to say, Isaac, to other young men out there that maybe their dad's not in their life, maybe they're having some issues in school? What would you say to them about what you're getting from help?
I would probably like tell them that they have an option. They can do this. They can always like because you never have only one option. There's always other things. You like you said, you have to put the work in. You have to dedicate yourself to it. So, but one thing I'll probably tell them from help, like once I said before, I'll probably say it's a safe place. You always have someone to talk to. You never have to be scared. Like you have freedom of speech. And like there's always other people going through the same thing you're going through. So there's always somebody that's gonna be there to relate to you. So I'll probably tell them that and they'll probably get more comfortable around people. So yeah, that's one thing I would probably say to them.
Isaac, I wanna have a conversation. Yesterday you said something to me. Um and it blew me away when you said it. For those who are listening, our mayor often will communicate with the men. She tries to give us autonomy. But I want to make sure that you all understand that this help piece is really a central piece of she's in it. And what I mean by that is this, and these young men may not necessarily know this. One day, she called me up after one of the violent crimes that happened in our community. She says, Kareem, what are we going to do, Pastor Bowen? What are we going to do? I'm tired of this violence. I'm tired of making statements. What do we need to do? And I told her, it's crazy that she had called me that morning because the Lord had put in my heart that if we got everyday men to start taking back our community one street at a time, one young man at a time, we got women that were going to speak up and be a part of this village, that we as everyday citizens could take back our community. And she says, well, you get these men together that you think we need to get. Brother Terry Reed out there, a brother out there of mine, we talk all the time, and we had said probably back in March that we were going to do something in terms of mentoring these young men. So he was the first call that I made, and Terry and Larry Walker and Antonio Brook. There was a number of other folks that were out there, Brian Pruitt, that we called in for the purpose of having this conversation. And so she is continually sending her support. She is continually giving well wishes. She's continually sharing this, because this is really the way that gun violence is going to stop in our community. It's by everyday communities and everyday people taking accountability and taking a role in fostering love toward these young people. Now, you said to me, Isaac recently had, not too long ago, had a wrestling match. And Isaac, why don't you share to me what happened during that wrestling match?
So we was on the stands, me and my team, waiting for our turn to go down there and wrestle. And I couldn't wrestle the first match because it was a grade I had forgot to do when I had missed one day of school. But I had got it back up the next, and I got to wrestle for the rest of the season. But when we started to wrestle and everybody else was down there, everybody else's family was in the stands, I had no one up there. So I was kind of like, I was really, I won't say sad, but I wasn't expecting nobody to come. And then I see the help group walk through the door, and instantly I started smiling because I didn't expect them to show up. I never knew they was coming. And then I seen them with someone new I never seen, and I asked them who it was, and they started introducing me to her, and they said it was a Mayor Saginaw. I felt so special, like I don't know. I feel like a famous person. I feel like there was people actually care for me out there, man. So yeah, that made me so happy. Yeah.
And so when he began to tell me that story on yesterday, I was like, wow, he told me he felt like a celebrity because help showed up and the mayor showed up. And so I think that this is absolutely amazing. I want to say real quick, I was going to call you Lee J, but I'm going to call you by your government name today, Curtis. Okay. I want you to share with me what were some things maybe that have changed in your life since you started with us. I know you mentioned that you feel more confident. What does that mean for you? Like feeling more confident, what does that make you feel like you can do?
Well, in public, I used to have like I didn't really want to talk to nobody. I just wanted to get what I need to get and go. But now when I walk in public, I walk with my chest down. I walk like with more confidence, and I feel more passionate about what I'm saying to other people.
Wow. So how do you guys feel about the group? What role has this group played in your life? What does it mean to you? Share that with me.
The help group is kind of like a second family for me. Like no matter what we doing, I will always like see y'all as that. If I'm in the supermarket and I see one of y'all, I'm gonna always come up and say hello, ask y'all how y'all doing, how y'all been doing, and then I always get excited when it's time to go every Saturday. I always get excited. I'll be ready. But yeah, it's kind of like a second family for me, second hand thing. I don't know. That's what it is to me, honestly.
I think that's great. During the commercial break, they were like, "Oh, we want to say this." They were like getting ready to take over my show. I love giving this opportunity, and you all don't realize it. I think that this is such an amazing opportunity to be able to share this space with you all. This being a radio station, I think this is the first time both of you guys were being interviewed on the radio. Yesterday you guys were saying, hey, we're getting ready to get interviewed as we were doing some post media, and you guys were excited about it. So I said, how amazing, and I thank Terry for coming up with this idea. Would it be to be able to share this platform so that you guys can see? One of the things that we often say to you is that your voice matters, and so you've got to use your voice to say what makes the difference, because what you have to say is important. I want to talk about a little bit about yesterday during the summit on yesterday. We've done this before in our group sessions, but we started to ask you guys about assessing some things. Y'all remember that part?
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay. And when we were talking about those assessments, we were talking about, what do you currently see in your community that's good? What are the things that you guys love about your community right now?
Well, one of the things that I love is like how there's many like parks open and just like different not gated communities, but different like places to go, such as like Ojibwe Island, Crayon Park, and it's just a lot of places where you could go with your family and just be a community there.
Outdoor spaces to get out and have some fun. The next question that I asked you all was to dream a big dream, to really think about how you see your city 5-10 years from now. When you think of your city, and I want both of you guys to take a second to think about this, what are some of the things that you would hope your community could bring and make happen for the youth here in the city of Saginaw?
I digress, but on the last question, another thing I love.
He said he digresses, y'all. What are we gonna do with this young man? Okay, my bro, go ahead.
Yeah, but I digress. But on the last question, another thing I love seeing in our community, we got a lot of hoopers and a lot of football players. We got a lot of athletes, people who really care about their sport they do, like people who take it seriously and they actually put in the work to get good at it. And that's why some of our teams we have in Saginaw is D1. They going D1. We gonna have a lot of good hoopers and players around here. That's one thing I love. And the current question.
Yes, go ahead.
One thing I want to
see.
You
do what you want to do. This is your show. Go ahead.
The current question. One thing I want to see in Saginaw, like maybe you said 10 years from now.
5-10 years.
5-10. I want to see further progression of cars, further progression of the population. I want to see more people. Like I want to be able to walk inside my house and actually see people using the streets. Because some of the sidewalks you see, they be overgrown with grass, and because no one ever uses them. So if we see more people in our city, I want higher population numbers.
So listen, and that's powerful. As a young man, he said that he wants more population. We got a caller that's calling in. We have Sharice from Saginaw. So we're gonna ask Sharice from Saginaw to come in. Sharice, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Sharice. What's going on? What's your question or statement or comment?
It's a comment. This is just the perfect example you having these young kings on your show of how I just want to thank you for being such a positive advocate of change because you not only talk the talk, but you walk the walk for the things and the people of the city of Saginaw. And I really love your show, and I want you to keep doing what you're doing because this is what we need, and we need more people to recognize that you're out here. So I just want to say thank you to you and your crew.
Thank you so much, Sharice. She is a continual person and supporter of Straight Talk. Hey, Sharice, we can't quit. Ain't no quit here. Ain't no stopping us now.
That's right.
We're on the move. Certainly, thank you for your call. Thank you for tuning in and listening to Straight Talk. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, we have another caller on the line. This is Terry Reed. My brother has decided to jump in to the conversation. What's going on, T. Reed?
Hey, what's going on, good brothers?
We're good, man. It's all about you. It's your world. We just living in it.
It's not about me, man. I'm over here tearing up listening to these young kings speak. And you know, the strange thing about it all is that the city as a whole, us as adults, don't give these kids the credit that they deserve. And this is a perfect example of these two kings expressing themselves openly and feeling, and I think because of you, Kareem, giving them that safe space to speak their minds and feel comfortable, man, they expressing themselves at a level that we would never understand. We understand it now because we giving them the voice that they need. Instead of us telling them what to do, we allowing them to tell us what to do. And I'm so proud of them young kings, man. And the strange thing is there's so many more of the mentees in our group that feel the same and act the same way that they do. But for those two there, man, I love them to life. I appreciate what they're saying. And you can hear it in my voice that is cracking because I'm emotional listening to them. And I just want to tell them I'm loving them and I'm so proud of them.
T, before you get off the phone, I just want to really quickly, there's a couple of things that I want you to ask you while you're here and we have these young kings here. What does having these young men in your life and being a part of their life, what does that mean to you?
Well, for me, you know, and I've said this before, and I think I said it openly at one of our meetings, you know, I felt the emptiness at 55 years old. I was feeling the emptiness, like there was something missing from my life. Even though I have a great family, a great wife, a great business, great kids, great grandkids, I still felt like something was missing. And the day we went into our first meeting with them, our first experience with those teens, I knew that's what I should be doing. And I felt it, and those kids embraced me and us as a group. And it actually has changed my life, and it's changed my opinion and the way I look at these young kings because we were expressing to them because we were the adults telling them what they should be doing. And when we gave them that safe space for them to explain to us what we needed to do for them, and saw their intellect, and as you can see, as you can hear on the show, their intellect, they're smarter than we give them credit for, man. And I'm learning from them just as much as they're learning from us.
I think this is absolutely amazing, Terry. And is there anything that you all would like to say to Mr. Reed since he's on the line and he's listening?
I want to say thank you, and I appreciate you, bro, like so much. You have had a big impact on my life, and like you influence me. I look up to you as a person, as a man. Like when I grow up, I want to be just like you in some type of way.
Man.
Man. You just got the waterworks gushing, I'm sure, over there. Mayday, code red. It's a man down situation.
Man down, brothers. Man down, man. But look, I'm learning just as much from you guys as you are from me. And I appreciate you saying that. And I'm going to have to get off the line because I'm choking up, man. So with that being said, I love you guys. I look forward to keep imparting wisdom on you guys, man. And I really enjoy seeing you on those Saturdays, man. I really do, man. And you are kings, and keep operating in that.
I want to say this to the folks that are listening when it comes to help. We are sincerely, this group has taught me how to trust Black men again, how to stand in unity. I thought I was good, but I realized that in talking with these brothers that there's a lot of stuff that happens in the village that we don't let go of. And having the relationships with brothers who have a similar desire to see our community change and to see these young men recognize how great they truly are. And the time that we spend after they're gone and the time decompressing has been cathartic. And for me, it has been healing for me to be with these men at arms. And we stand together. We made a pact at the very beginning of us coming together. We didn't want to be another fly-by-night group that was here one day and not the next. And so we made a pact with each other that if there were any issues, we would always talk about them. We would never allow anybody to split us. Not even for something as small as an interview. You're not coming in between this band of brothers. We talk. We have an inspirational group that we encourage one another on a regular basis. And that type of bonding has allowed us to really just build these bridges. If we are looking at an organism, and I see Pastor Simpson out there, and he always says that we aren't an organization, but we're an organism. And if we are an organism, Terry is definitely the heart. Big Bad Terry is definitely the heart of that organization, that organism. And he keeps us continually reminded on what is our main function. So, Terry, thank you for all that you're doing for these young men, for the community, the coat drives, the single moms who can't afford tires. And I've sat in the shop with you and you like, give her the tire if she needs it. We support you and we celebrate you and the work that you're doing in this community. Thank you so much for calling in to Straight Talk.
Thank you. Let me add one more thing if I could.
Yes, sir.
Okay. By the famous words of Fabulous and Larry Walker, I'm a movement by myself.
But we are
health is a force when we're together.
That's it.
Peace and love, brother.
God bless you.
Yeah.
All right. So we got another caller on the line. Y'all calling in today. These young kings have sparked your attention. I believe it's Micaiah Washington. Florida is on the line. What's going on? Give it to me, Micaiah. How you doing?
What's up? Hi, from Florida. Those are my brothers on there. And I'm so proud of y'all. I love y'all so much. And y'all is destined to be great. It's only up from here. Say, hey, Uncle. Hey, Uncle. Say, we love you. We love you.
Love y'all
So,
too.
y'all got a little one looking up to y'all. And I'm real proud of y'all.
We are so thank you for calling in, Micaiah. I believe you have a personal connection with maybe our young kings that are here. Who's Micaiah? This is your sister down in Florida. All right.
Yes.
So we certainly thank you for calling in. Do you guys want to say anything to her while she's on the line? All right. Just listen in real quick, Micaiah. Go ahead.
I just want to say what's up to my my sister, Micaiah, and my nephew, Baby M.
Hey, Uncle.
I just wanted to say I've been wanting to go down there in Florida with y'all for a long time. I'm glad that I managed this opportunity to be on TV and so y'all can see me just talk on this podcast. But I love you, Micaiah, and I love you, Baby M.
All right.
I want to thank y'all for supporting us and watching us and tuning in, actually talking. And I want to say thank you for all those words y'all said, and I love y'all.
All right. This is absolutely beautiful. I saw you guys get a little choked up when you were listening to this. Thank you so much, Micaiah, for calling in. We certainly thank you. My brother, Bobby DeLeon, thank you for tuning in as you always do here on Straight Talk. I want to get Thank you so very much. I want to get one of the women. Come on over here. Slide on in here. Slide into this space. I want to get one of the women that is often here. She comes in. She's bringing these young kings into the conversation. We just want to hear a little bit from you. First of all, share with us who you are and what these young kings that are in front of me represent to you. Who are they?
This is my nephew Isaac. This is my son Curtis. King Curtis and King Isaac. My name is Jasmine. I'm very thankful for this program. I was excited about it. I've gotten more excited about it every Saturday when it's time. They're excited about it. I love it, and I don't know. I'm thankful for you guys.
What are you most thankful for when you come in? Because you're one of those parents who doesn't just drop the kids off, but you drop them, you bring them, and you sit in the space and you're listening to the lessons. What are you hearing happening in the room? I want you to share with the other women that are out there. Maybe they're saying, I don't know if my kids will like it. What do you hear happening in the room?
I feel they're welcome. I feel the attention is getting paid to them. They like to talk and they're asked questions and they have the opportunity to speak for themselves. I love it because I like seeing them, be comfortable and be confident, as they said. I see a lot of interactions, positive interaction. I see a lot of positive role models. I just like that for them.
As we, let me ask you this question. Now, you have seen the brothers in the room. Mm-hmm. You've seen that interaction. In my opinion, I've never seen Black men embracing, conversating, enjoying one another like I see in that room. Share with me what you see from that perspective.
Oh, I see an entire brotherhood. I love it for the Black men, for the Black our young kings. I see unity. I see a lot of positive on individual and as a group. I just love it.
What is it that you hope for just give me what is it that you hope for these two young men that are in front of us, these two kings?
I hope one day they be as confident as and they can start something like this for themselves or keep it growing, the program itself. I want them to be leaders. I believe they are already leaders.
They are leaders.
I just like the confidence for them that's the group is bringing for them, and I like the opportunity that you guys have given them to, take this position on.
Thank you so very much. I want to give you all an opportunity because I think it's always important. One of the things that I often do, and I say this with my mom, is I always make sure that whenever women are in the space, and I made a point that on this show that every woman that came here would be considered a queen. We respond to them as queens. Is there anything, young kings, that you would like to say to this queen that is sitting with us now that you have an opportunity to do so in front of the entire Michigan Bay region, all the way down to Florida?
I want to say that I love you and I appreciate you so much. You've been in my life since before I was born, since before I was walking. You've done so much for me. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be the person I am today. And I appreciate you for bringing us to this foundation, everything they've done for us. I appreciate you and I love you so much.
Thank you, and I love you too.
Go ahead.
I want to say that I love you, Mama, and you've been there with me. Well, like you said, since I was born, and she taught me how to walk, how to do half the stuff I know, and she's been a big part in my life, and she's impacted me like physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. But I just want to like make sure that she actually knows that I mean this when I say that I love you and thank you for being in my life.
Man, that is so powerful. Give your mama a hug, boy. And we believe in hugging and sharing that love. This is absolutely amazing. William Waters, he says, thank you for the HELP program. You are changing the lives of young men. You are mentoring. They will never be the same because of the love and direction you are showing them. I want to say to you, William Waters, we went to a match and I saw that Will was the coach. And yeah, Coach Waters,
Hey, Coach.
that's who that is, Coach Waters. And I want to say to you, I remember decades ago, it's been literally decades ago, that you were impacted by someone that was a mentor in your life. I can't remember what the man was. It was an older white man, and you talked about the importance of mentorship. And you were part of a group that I was involved in as a young man just leaving high school, going into college. Victorious from Boys to Men, and it was a mentoring program. And I remember you leading that program. And this is why mentorship is so important. So I want to take a second just to say to you, Will, that what you invested in that mentorship process, what I saw you doing with other men and boys in my presence, is part of the reason why I do exactly what it is that I'm doing, because I had great mentors. My Uncle Brian continually is one of the greatest mentors I've ever had in my life. My Uncle Jeff Bowen, who's out there. My Uncle Tyrone, cousins Marlon. I have so many mentors. One of my most famous people that I love most as a young man, I remember he gave me a small bottle of English cologne, was John John. So thank you. William Waters, the name was Francis Bentley. His resting close. God bless you and rest in peace. To all of those mentors who have gone on before and to those who are still here, keep on keeping on. I want to thank you all for tuning in today for Straight Talk. We love you all. Take care of yourselves and each other. God bless you. Grace and peace.
You're listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
You've been listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1. The views and opinions expressed